Next up, we have Waheed El Miladi. Waheed is a product engineer at Intercom. Waheed's background, he interned at Amazon, actually, during his time in college before joining Intercom. And he is going to share a really interesting set of experiences and lessons learned during his time working on some of the products at Intercom. And his talk is called Building a Startup Within a Startup.
So my name's Waheed. I'm going to be telling a story. It's quite personal about building a startup within a startup. So the startup we're talking about is Intercom, but the new startup we were working on was called Acquire. Acquire lets you chat with visitors to your website and convert them to customers. And it's quite a big change for Intercom. Previously, before Acquire, you could only talk to your signed-in users, and now it was possible to talk to anyone that visited your site. It was also quite a big change for me. So 2 years ago when I joined Intercom, I'd just finished college and I'd made quite a big career change. I was a chef for about 8 or 9 years before that. And I was moving into a new job as a software engineer. So it was quite a daunting task. Been tasked with building this new startup after a few months out of college. But here, what could go wrong? We had all these advantages, right? We already had a successful product. We had money, we had people, we had experience, and we had a captive audience. And we kind of knew that they'd be eager to try out whatever it was we built next. So we're feeling pretty good, pretty confident, and optimistic at this stage. In October last year, we released, and I get all the credit for the release because it's my photo and my name up there. Sorry, stay quiet there. That was a huge success. In the first few months, our revenue was above $1 million. And just to put that in the context of Intercom, it took them 2 years. So, nailed it, right? There was some issues. Our churn is something that kind of signals that your product or your business is going to die. It may not be tomorrow or the next day, but if you don't look to it, it will at one stage. So we had customers leaving the Acquire product at about double the rate that they were leaving the other products within Intercom. But we knew how to handle it. So you just heard from Tom and Emma, and we were pretty good at this jobs to be done thing. So we knew we could go back, research, talk to our customers, and get a clear picture of what the problems were. So we identified a couple of problems. First one of them, or the biggest one that we tackled, was around getting replies to visitors. So if a visitor comes to your site and starts a conversation, doesn't leave their email address, and then moves on, there's no real point in them getting in touch if we can't get that reply to them. So we had a solution. We already had an email collector in place, but we were pretty excited about bots at the time. It's pretty conversational, as you can see here, and it fits in with the whole Intercom ethos of being personal. But it may not look like there's actually a lot going on here. It just looks like another comment. There's actually a ton going on under the hood. So this is just one part of a doc that Elizabeth, who's going to be on next, wrote about how bots should talk. And it's one thing, you need to get the tone of voice right, and you also need to get the flow of a conversation right when you're talking to a bot. If you get stuck in an endless loop with a bot, it's pretty boring. You probably have friends like that as well. But then there's the technical side of things as well. So we had to integrate it into our messenger. And then we had to write all this complex code server-side in order to manage conversations, know when to start them, know when to end them, and stuff like that. So with the product challenges and the engineering challenges and the high bar we set for ourselves when we're building product, it took about 3 months for us to build this thing. And we were expecting to have emails coming in at us left, right, and center. We thought we'd be picking emails up off the floor. Thought we wouldn't know what to do with all the emails we had. But it had absolutely no effect. None at all. Not a move, nothing. It didn't even get worse, actually. kind of disheartening. So around this time, I'd already had some leave planned. It wasn't because of this. I thought it would be long leave though with the way the project went. But anyway, I came back after a week, and my team doing sterling work as usual. They took a little bit of time and changed our old email collector to this new version. It's a pretty small visual change, and it took about 3 hours. The performance gain we got from just this little visual change, 25%. So we spent 3 months on a bot, we got absolutely no change, and we spent 3 hours on some styling, and we got 25% better. So the lesson I took away from this is you can build all the architecture you want, you can be as clever as you can writing a lot of code, but basically if you just change the background to green, people will give you their email. Yeah. So why didn't we do this in the first place? If we'd have been an early stage startup, we wouldn't have had the option to spend 2 or 3 months building something and not getting any results from it. We wouldn't need it to be pragmatic, get results quickly. All these advantages that we thought we had earlier, turns out they weren't advantages at all actually. The constraints that you get earlier on, they're all removed for us, and as such, we didn't have a startup mindset. And that's what you need when you're building a new product, because success can kill that startup mindset. So what you really need to do is you need to starve your new products. So being hungry makes you scrappy, right? And being scrappy makes you build better product quicker. Thanks, you've all been great. Cheers.